Hi, my name's Lucy. I was widowed 15 months ago. I had a 15-month-old and a 3-week-old baby boy. I just don't think, I didn't associate the word widow with young people. He was my best friend. He wasn't just my partner. He wasn't just the kid's dad. Like, he was my person. He was my everything. Everyone else went back to their lives. Like, at the end of the day, they all still had homes to go home to. They had partners to go to bed with. I was completely lost. I didn't just lose Graham. I worked for the family business. So I lost my job, my home, my partner, my best friend. I lost everything all in one fell swoop. So it was really, really challenging for me to even attempt to talk to people about that because they just didn't understand. It felt very lonely, because I didn't know who I could talk to without them either telling me that it'll be all right, you've got to move on, or without them just shutting up shop because they're just so terrified they're going to say something that will trigger me. So I think it was a bit of a blessing that the first catch-up I went to was really small. It was only myself and 2 others. I think it made it a little bit less intimidating to walk into that. And at the end of the day, I sort of just convinced myself that it was just coffee. I didn't have to do it again if it wasn't something I was comfortable with, but I thought it was something I did have to try. I'd already had a catch up, I'd already met a few widowed people, had started to accept the fact that this was all going to be okay. And then camp rolled around. I wasn't actually going to go because it was, 2 days after Graham's first anniversary, so it was all very fresh and very painful, and I didn't know how I'd go sitting in a room with other people talking about death, because that's pretty much the only place that we're all completely 100% safe and feel safe enough to talk about it without, the flinch. I think I booked the ticket like a week before camp because I just sort of figured I'm going to be miserable anyway, I may as well be with my people. Like, they get it. If there's anyone on this planet that's going to get where I was at for that first anniversary, it was going to be the people that have either been there already or are heading towards it. So that was why I made the decision to go to camp, and I think it was the best decision I ever made. I met some amazing people. It was the first time that I'd given myself permission to have fun and actually just let my hair down and be a person, not the widow, not the mother, not all the other hats that you have to put on. I just let go of all of it and I was just myself. Yeah, so I was a bit concerned about going because there was obviously going to be a lot of widows in one place, a lot of emotions, a lot of stories to share and everything else. And I was a bit worried that it was going to turn into a bit of a sob story contest, like this is what happened to me but my story's worse. Especially the first day, I didn't really want to talk about my story because it was still quite fresh and very public. So yeah, it was intimidating at first, but then you realise that we're all there for the same reason. We're all just looking for our community. And that's exactly what Camp Widow was. It was a community. It was an opportunity for all of the virtual conversations and the forums that we've got on Facebook and everything else to put a face to the name, to give that person a squeeze. Like, it made everything, it solidified that there really was a great community there, that people really did bond over. Yeah, we bonded over our losses, but we've got people there that understand. Like, they've been in your shoes, they get what it feels like, they understand how hard it is, especially the first couple of years. Based off my experience, I was terrified I was alone. I was surrounded by people but felt like I was completely alone. The biggest thing is that I didn't want to have that feeling anymore. Like, it was terrifying. I'm not even going to pretend it wasn't. It was really scary to put myself out there with the fear of being hurt again. But I'm so glad that I did, because I've gone from feeling isolated and not knowing what to do or who to talk to knowing that I can pick up the phone and call any of the wonderful people that I met at Camp Widow or the catch-ups, and I know that there's going to be a friendly voice on the other end of that phone, and they're going to tell me that it's going to be okay, or they're going to just let me cry it out and give me a hug. You'll have a lot of people rally around you. That's what people do, but they don't get it. They don't understand, especially when you're a young widowed person. It's terrifying. You think about losing your person, and it doesn't normally happen until you're in your 80s. You've lived your lives. All we had was dreams ahead of us, like unlived lives. So to know that you're going to have a group of people that are going to support you in figuring out what your new dream is, that's massive.